Long ago, when the world was young and the heavens were close enough to touch, there dwelled in the realm of men a woman whose name would be carried by the moon's silver glow for eternity. She was Chang'e. Her beauty rivaled the gleam of starlight, and her grace was as soft as petals drifting on a calm spring breeze. It was an age when the earth was scorched by 10 blazing suns. Day after day the heat ravaged the rivers and fields, turning lakes to dry basins and fields to brittle dust, and the people fell to their knees, crying out for mercy from the heavens. Among them was a mighty archer named Hou Yi, a man whose eyes held the dawn's determination and whose arrows flew straighter than any before him. When the people despaired, he climbed the tallest mountain, lifted his bow to the sky, and with the strength of thunder he shot down 9 of the 10 suns, leaving only one to warm the land gently. His deeds turned the parched earth back to green, and his name was sung from village to village. The Jade Emperor in the heavens, awed yet angered by Hou Yi's boldness, cast him down to live among mortals. But the people loved him, and beside him stood Chang'e, his beloved wife, the jewel of his heart. Hou Yi's skill became legendary. He tamed wild beasts that threatened villages and protected the people from bandits who roamed the roads like wolves in the night. In every tale told by firesides, Hou Yi stood as the hero who wielded his bow to protect the helpless. Yet even as the people praised him, Hou Yi's own heart was anchored to his home, where Chang'e would wait, her soft laughter like the chime of jade bracelets, her hands weaving silken cloth as she watched for his return. When he returned each evening, weary from the road, Chang'e would light the lanterns and prepare tea, and they would sit together, speaking softly as the glow of lantern light flickered across their faces. The moon would rise above the roof, round and bright, and they would pause to watch it, silent, knowing it was their silent companion in the night sky. Time passed, and Hou Yi was offered a gift by the Queen Mother of the West, who dwelled in the mountains where peaches of immortality blossomed once every 3,000 years. For his valor, she granted him an elixir that would grant eternal life, and allow him to ascend to the heavens to become an immortal, free of human suffering. But Hou Yi looked upon Chang'e, and the thought of immortality without her was an eternity of loneliness he could not bear. So he brought the elixir home, placing it in a small porcelain bottle, vowing they would drink it together when the time was right, so they might rise to the heavens as one. But word of the elixir spread, and envy festered in the hearts of some. One day, when Hou Yi was away, a wicked apprentice came to steal the elixir from Chang'e, hoping to claim immortality for himself. As the apprentice threatened her, Chang'e clutched the porcelain bottle close to her heart, tears welling in her eyes as she thought of Hou Yi, the home they built, and the people they loved. She whispered a silent apology, and before the apprentice could strike, she drank the elixir in one breath. The moment the liquid touched her tongue, her body grew lighter than air, her feet lifted from the ground, and the world around her fell away. She floated upward, past the roof of her home, past the fields she had walked with Hou Yi, past the mountains and rivers that marked the world she knew. She rose higher into the cold embrace of the sky, and the winds wrapped around her like the arms of a phantom. Below her, Hou Yi returned, calling out her name, reaching his hands toward the sky as he watched his beloved ascend, unable to follow. Chang'e rose toward the moon, drawn by its silver light, until she reached its pale surface. Here she found herself alone, a palace of cold jade rising before her, surrounded by silver gardens and fields of frost that glowed under the eternal light of the moon. She walked the halls of her new home, her footsteps silent on the jade floors, her reflection staring back at her in the polished stone. Outside, the moon's surface stretched endlessly, a sea of pale dust in stillness, where no wind blew and no bird sang. Chang'e pressed her hand to her heart, feeling it beat with the memory of Hou Yi, and she gazed down at the world below, where the rivers glistened and lantern lights danced in the night. In the nights that followed, Hou Yi would stand in his garden, looking up at the moon, tears tracing lines down his weathered cheeks as he whispered her name. In the silence of those nights, when the moon was at its fullest, Chang'e would gaze down, her eyes shimmering with the light of stars, wishing she could reach out to him. They say that Hou Yi laid out her favorite fruits and cakes in the garden, offerings to the moon, hoping that the winds would carry the fragrance of sweet osmanthus and lotus pastries to her where she dwelled among the stars. Sometimes villagers would see a faint silhouette on the moon's surface, the shape of a graceful woman standing with her long flowing sleeves, watching over them from her palace in the sky. The moon was beautiful, but it was a lonely beauty, quiet and cold. Each night, Chang'e would wander through the silver gardens, brushing her fingers over moonflowers that bloomed under the eternal light, listening for the echoes of laughter that no longer came. She would close her eyes, remembering the warmth of Hou Yi's embrace, the scent of tea in the evenings, the rustle of bamboo leaves in the breeze, and the soft glow of lanterns swaying in their garden. A small jade rabbit came to keep her company, pounding herbs in a mortar under the moonlight, a loyal companion in her solitude. Sometimes Chang'e would sit beside the rabbit, watching the earth below, longing for the warmth of home and the gentle touch of the man she loved. As years passed, the people of the world below did not forget Chang'e. Each year, when the moon was at its fullest and brightest, families would gather to light lanterns and share mooncakes, telling the story of the moon goddess who lived above, watching over them. Children would laugh as they carried glowing lanterns shaped like rabbits and moons, and families would set tables in their gardens, offering fruits and tea to the moon, honoring Chang'e and remembering her love for Hou Yi. The Mid-Autumn Festival became a time of reunion, of gratitude, and of looking to the sky to remember that love, like the moon, endures across distance and time. They say that on the clearest nights, if you look up at the moon and close your eyes, you can feel the gentle blessings of Chang'e as she watches over the world below. Her story is whispered in the rustling leaves and in the soft glow of lantern light, reminding all who hear it of love's enduring power and the quiet courage of sacrifice. The moon's glow carries the memory of a love so strong that even the heavens could not erase it. A love that turned a lonely moon into a symbol of hope and reunion for generations. So it is that Chang'e, the moon goddess, remains in her palace of jade, watching over the world she left behind, her heart forever tied to the man she loved and the people she protected. In the quiet of the night, when the moonlight touches the earth with silver fingers, she is there, a silent guardian among the stars. And so, whenever you look up at the moon, remember that it is more than just a pale light in the sky. It is a symbol of love, of sacrifice, and of hope. It is a reminder that even in the darkest nights, there is a light that watches over you, carrying stories from the past into the dreams of tomorrow.